What's talking? It's Street Talk. My name is Trisha and I'm your host for this week's episode. Not too long ago, e-scooters were banned from footpaths and bicycles might be next in line. On Sunday, 2nd of August, the Sunday Times cited how the public wanted bicycles to be banned from footpaths. Some Facebook users argued that bicycles pose the same threat as e-scooters and even brought up the case where an e-scooter rider knocked into a woman and caused her severe brain injuries. Since April 2020, PMDs have been banned on footpaths island-wide after many accidents involving e-scooter happened, and some resulting in fatal injuries and even death. Do bicycles really pose the same threat as e-scooters? How do Singaporeans feel about it? Let's hit the streets to find out. Are cyclists as bad as e-scooters in your opinion?
I don't think so. So I think actually cyclists might be a bit better because I haven't heard as much bad news about cyclists as compared to e-scooters.
No, I don't think so. I feel like they're not as common as people think. So it doesn't really interfere with the pedestrians.
Not as common as people think.
To be honest, they are not as bad as I think they know when to control their speed and not. So yeah, I think cyclists are better than e-scooters. And they don't blast like their loud music out loud in public, so I think that's a good thing.
Yes, they are. The problem is that the handlebars stick out. And so for small kids, that's right at eye level. And I know that my son almost got hit in the eye a few times, whereas e-scooters are straight up and down, so they tend to be a bit narrower and go through people a bit easier.
I think it's just as bad if they go on the pedestrian walkway.
Have you had any bad experience with cyclists on pedestrian walkways?
Not personally. I think cyclists usually, when they are about to approach, they usually sound a bell or they will slow down in time to pass us.
Some of them actually don't really have bells, so when they just ride past you, it is pretty dangerous.
Occasionally. Sometimes they come without warning.
No, but I know that many of my friends like to complain about cyclists on pedestrian walkways. But for me, it's not a problem.
Actually, I have had but partly I think it will be our fault too because like when we are walking, we play our phones. So like we don't look up when we are walking.
Of course, I've had like bad experiences whereby I'm walking and on the opposite side whereby the cyclist comes in. To be honest, they feel like they own the pathway and to me it's wrong.
Yeah, many a time because some of them don't bother about the pedestrian. Nearly got crashed into a few. Especially for the old people, I think it's quite bad.
Do you think that cycling should be banned on pedestrian walkways?
Well, the big problem with that is that there aren't enough bicycle ways in Singapore. If there were sufficient places for people to ride their bikes to get from the places they needed to, then yeah, it makes sense. Right now, to get from point A to point B, there isn't another way. And riding on the street, cars, they just don't look for bicyclists. I know I've ridden on the street and it's dangerous. I can kind of understand the casual bicycle person not wanting to ride on the street. So I don't think that's a good idea right now.
No, I don't feel they should be banned. They should be able to cycle as they see fit.
I don't think it should be banned, but there should be more regulation because cyclists are supposed to use the road and not the pedestrian walkway. So when it comes to people, like she said, that are on earphones or elderly who cannot avoid them in time, then there may be the risk of accidents.
I understand that some of them is for their livelihood, so I don't think they should be banned. Probably maybe impose some kind of speed limit.
If we're talking about small pathways and walkways, yes, definitely I think it should be banned. The government should also come up with places, allocated places in public, like in central areas as well, for cyclists.
Yes. I think in the Western country, most of the cyclists are banned, but the reason why is because they have proper cycling path. Unlike Singapore, I think the government should try to improve on our cycling path.
It seems like most people do not think that cyclists are worse than e-scooters. However, they need to be more aware of their speed and the people around them when they are cycling on pedestrian walkways. Number one recommendation is to have more bicycle pathways around Singapore to minimize the risk of accident between cyclists and pedestrians. What do you think? Are cyclists worse than e-scooters? Let us know down in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Happy TV. This is Street Talk. Stop talking already. Bye!